I'm going to do a quick video on how I make a little masterboard. This one's a tiny one, but basically a masterboard is just a base of something that you're collaging layers on top of. And so when we talk about using junk mail, I just actually pulled out, pieces of junk mail. This isn't junk mail, but I would use this for lines, but it's an old ledger paper. But inside security envelopes, you get different designs in there. This is a flyer that came in the mail that you can use images out of. This was a card that came in the mail that I'm going to just collage on and use this as my base. You can use old book pages like that, just to start to layer on top. You can also stamp with inks, or you can paint on it. So basically you're creating a little board, or something that's a little bit more sturdy that you can cut from. So you can cut pockets out of it, tags out of it, and so on. So what I'm going to do here is actually just create a really small one that I can use in March. And I'm just going to start by basically tearing paper out and collaging it down. So I want to close my, hide my address there, but basically you want to use, I would recommend using a glue stick. So you can use like Mod Podge and things like that. It just takes a little longer to dry. I like to use a glue stick, and I use this one because the page won't warp as much. So when you're using a dry, what I would consider a dry glue or glue stick, your pages will lay much flatter. If you use a wet glue, it will tend to warp, and so you'll get the warping happening on your page. So I'm going to just use some of this blue envelope, and there's a lot of videos out on YouTube, on the internet, that talks about creating masterboards. A lot of people will use, scrapbooking paper, or, leftover scraps that they have. But in our group, we actually don't use scrapbooking paper. You're just really using junk. And so that's what I'm going to do here. So basically, just layering down. And then when I get a full base on here and cover up the entire card, then I can embellish it a little bit more. I can use ink or paint or markers, crayon. If you don't have, inks and things like that, there are other ways that you can embellish your pages with. Watercolors, even like I take these camping with me, the children's watercolor sets that you can buy pretty cheaply. I actually use those for, painting while I'm camping. So I'm going to take this text and collage it down like this. So really, I'm not thinking about it too much. I am just laying down papers on top of each other. Maybe spreading the colors out a little bit, just to give it a little variety. And then the idea is just not to overthink it. Don't think too deeply about it. A bit more blue. Goes pretty quickly. And this was just stuff I grabbed today. I mean, I'm sure we'll have more junk mail-y type stuff in the future. All right, let's just do this. Right down the center. Okay, great, good, right, and then just a little bit right there in the middle, Use a piece of this. This one was one I already just kind of was using leftover paint on. So there's a little bit of paint on there. Like so. Okay, and then this is basically your masterboard with, you know, without extra images on it. But I can trim around it, you know, and then I can cut tags and things like that out of it. What I would do next is I might go through these types of flyers and then look at this image here with the flower on that. I might just tear that out and apply that to my board somewhere. I thought that was double. There you go. This glue is actually quite sticky, so my fingers are sticking together. Like that. See, so you don't have to think about it too much. Here's my bigger booklet here, where you could fussy cut things out of. You know, words, you can cut words out of here. But basically that's it. That's the base. And then you could put more things on here, or you could leave it as is. And then when you're ready to create ephemera or an embellishment or something, you can cut it out. I might go over this with a little bit of gesso or paint. Let's see where we're at, 6 minutes. I have some red paint here, and this doesn't have to be fancy either. So I'm going to just take an old little card I have. And then just play. Kind of wanted to keep that where it was, but it's okay. Just trying to do this quickly. You can also just do that. Right, so it's all about really using up your junk. It does look a bit wild there. And then I can do a little bit of white gesso. A little bit too much for you, you can tone it down. Just want to be careful what kind of words you put on your page. Just like that. And then when you cut these out to make pockets or tucks or anything like that, you're going to have quite a variety of papers underneath. So great collage technique for bigger collages. Okay, like that. Then I might take my rubber stamps. Right, so then I could take some ink and create a little design with the punchinella, so you get a little bit of this happening. Just all part of layering down here. All right. Oops. And if you have little stamp pads, actually, you can take them and rub them over the top, like so. Okay. So using inks and things are fine. Let's put some little rubber stamps on here. This one is a little dandelion thing. Okay. I don't have the right stamp pad, looks like. All right. There you go. Sometimes it's hard to keep adding and adding, so at this point I'm going to actually just stop.